Hello, Lauren here with Lauren Elizabeth Fine Art, and I help beginner through professional level artists reduce stress while mastering the art of animal art. In today's tutorial for stress relief, I'm going to be showing you how to paint cat eyes. Okay, let's get started. First and foremost, I outline both eyes with black. I will create a nice even width outline around each eye using a liner brush or a small round detail brush or a rigger brush. And I'll also fill in this small little sliver for a pupil. Once that's done and dry, I then move on to the color of the eye. Now, most of the times when I paint cats, I work from dark to light. I lay down the darkest tones and then slowly, layer after layer, I build up color to my light tones. For the eyes, I do something different. I like to work on my medium tones first. So in this case, these green eyes, I created a phalocyanin blue and cadmium yellow mixture. And I tried to get those in-betweens so that while it's still wet, I can very quickly and simply blend in the darks and the lights. I'll add my lightest colors to the areas facing the light source, and then I'll add the darkest tones to the areas on the opposite side, not getting as much light. Oftentimes those shadows are just on the top of the eye or around the bridge of the nose in that little corner, and especially right around where the pupil is. Those highlights, sometimes they're little dabs of highlights. Sometimes it's just a whole border of lightness, in this case light yellow, around the almost close to that black border I created on the outside of the eye. There's so many different dimensions of color that you can add to cat eyes. And I really like to capture that while it's wet and blending that into all the colors at one time. So here's those final highlights that I'm adding with just white because there's a strong light source coming from the right side in that reference photo. Now that leads me to the next point. It's really important that you pinpoint the light source before you get painting the eyes. Actually, it's important before you get painting any part of the cat, but especially the eyes. Because in this case, the light source is so extreme on the left side of the cat that the right eye is very dark. It's going to be a very dark green, whereas this left eye is going to be a much lighter green. So although I'm using similar colors, I have to really be careful to make sure that one is much darker than the other according to the area getting the least amount of light. So this eye, I'm going to be using similar colors, but a lot more phalocyanin blue. I use the same colors as the last cat, my phthalo blue and my cadmium yellow. Once the color within the eyes is dry or tacky, I'll wash on my brush, grab a clean, damp, thin brush, so like I said, a rigger brush or a liner brush, to define those pupils and the outline again. So it's very easy to kind of cut into that with our colors. So then I go back in with my black and I just touch those up. Some important things to note about cat pupils is they're really thin. Sometimes they just look like a little sliver. They're just tiny, tiny little thin slices of a pupil. And then, but the outline of the eye just seems real thick. Now, when you're doing this outline, you want to keep the eye's almond shape. Again, it might depend on your cat. Some cats might have larger, more rounder shaped eyes, but for the most part, they're going to be pointed on both ends. And then where it's in closer, if you notice right here, where it's in closer to the bridge of the nose, it's a little thicker, just where it's angled in towards the nose. So you're going to add a little bit more black in that area than you would on the other side of the eye. I always say paint what you see, and then later you can distort color. So if you want to change these colors, that's fine, but wait till later. Make sure you get down the main realism, so the pupil in the right spots, the even symmetrical border, the colors that are relatively similar to what you're seeing in your reference photo, and also these final highlights according to the light source. So you can always layer over top the distortions, the color distortions that I like to add, but try your best to kind of stick to what you see. Sometimes one side of your cat, because of the light source, is so dark that you can't even see the pupil, so don't paint it. Only paint what you see. Now, if you would like to learn how to paint your cat or any other cat breed, or even follow along to these cat tutorials, you can find them in my online Animal Art Masterclass. I have just added a new series called Cat Portrait Fundamentals, where it shows you video by video my 12-step process and a written guide to follow along as well. Now, if you're a beginner artist and you want something a little bit more laid back, in just a few weeks, I'm going to be opening up my newest tier for just $10, and it's all my mini pet and wildlife painting tutorials. All the options that I offer in my online Animal Art Masterclass are designed to help those who are really battling depression, anxiety, and addiction. It's a healthy outlet to renew your mind, to build your confidence, to find just your calm and joy amongst all the craziness going on outside our doors. So if you'd like to be notified when I open up this new tier, you can enter your name in the link I provided down below. Or I have a separate link if you just like to learn more details about the online Animal Art Masterclass. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If this tutorial was helpful, make sure you subscribe for more animal painting tutorials for stress relief. Have a wonderful day. Bye!